Hello, Taurus rising. This is Mandy Ray of Ecstatic Astrology here for your December rising sign forecast. And I'm sorry for the delay. I wanted to put these out, but as you can hear, this has been going on for a couple of days and my whole family's sick. And so sorry for the delay. All right, so let's dig in. I'm just going to hit the high points so that I don't keep this too long and wreck my voice. The new moon in Sagittarius was on the 12th. It was in your eighth house of empowerment, shared resources, sexuality, contracts. The eighth house to me is really about, do I feel like this is a worthy connection where I can be intimate? All right. It's also deep desire. So the new moon in Sag has you exploring this area. Is this right for me? Is this according to the philosophies that I care about? Now, the reason this matters is because it was square to Neptune and Pisces. This is your friends, networks, long-term aspirations, and goals. Okay. So squares are tension. So there's tension between how much maybe people are giving you, or your boundaries, or your empowerment versus your goals and your large groups of people you may be working with. So like you could see a scenario in which you're like, I really like this group that I'm a part of, but I'm not receiving the empowerment from them that I need to, and I need to draw boundaries, something like that. Okay. So that's the new moon in Sag for you. Keep in mind, it's ruled by Jupiter and Taurus, which is your first house of self. And when you add this in, you can even see more of this self needing to think about what I need, who I am. Am I being seen? Am I being valued as a person? Your identity, all of that comes up. And then the other thing is Venus is in Scorpio. So that's your seventh house of relationships. So this becomes a relationship transit for you where you're wondering, is this right for me? Are these relationships supportive of me? And what is my philosophy around it? It's Sagittarius, right? What are my values around it? So that is the new moon in Sag. It's still going on. Tomorrow is the 16th. I'm recording this on Friday, December 15th. And the sun in Sag squares Neptune and Pisces. A lot of times you'll get this on the build up, though, to that sun square, especially since the new moon was pretty well square to it. So this is pretty much what this phase is about. It will culminate in a different sign in Cancer. And so we'll talk about that here in a second. But first, I want to go over the fact that Mercury went retrograde on the 13th. Now, where is Mercury retrograde for you? That is in Capricorn. Whoop. And how do I undo that? Oh, good. It let me undo it. All right. So Capricorn is your ninth house of philosophy. So this is about, what do I believe? And I need to rethink some things. What is my truth? And what do I believe about achievement? That's Capricorn, right? Where do I want to be in life? That's kind of the ninth house. Where is my trajectory? Where do my beliefs take me? What is my truth? What do I know? Mercury retrograde kind of has you rethinking what you know. It will retrograde all the way back into Sagittarius. Again, your eighth house of shared resources, empowerment, boundaries, contracts. So first you get a handle on the philosophy behind it. Then you get a handle on how to deal with it, I think is really, and how to empower yourself with this Mercury retrograde. Keep in mind that when Mercury retrogrades back into Sagittarius, it will square Neptune again, which is your 11th house of friends, networks, long-term aspirations, goals, right? So this question that popped up at the new moon will also pop up around the 27th when Mercury and Mars in Sagittarius square Neptune. So there is a sense that this new moon is not done with these themes until after Mercury and Mars come together, square Neptune, and then at the beginning of the year, like the first couple weeks of January, we get the answer. Where does the answer come from? Well, that brings me to this other thing that Mercury's doing, okay? Mercury is also trine Jupiter from Capricorn. So that's the first thing Mercury does, is trine Jupiter. And I guess I undid that, but that's okay. Okay, so if we'll get the lay of the land first, Mercury on the way up, I think early November, from your eighth house of empowerment, shared resources, squared Neptune and your 11th house of long-term aspirations and goals. Okay. So that's that first little bit of lack of clarity. Then it went into Capricorn and it trined, which is supportive, your first house of self. Okay. So then what we get is a retrograde, another trine. Yay, that's great. That was the seventh. Sorry, not the seventh. That was Mercury and Capricorn trine Jupiter retrograde. Okay. So that's the 18th, actually, that's coming up. And then what we get is another square once it moves back into Sagittarius to Neptune, lack of clarity again. That's Sagittarius and Pisces. That happens the 27th and 28th. Okay. And then on January 19th, we're going to get the last trine again, Mercury retrograde in Capricorn, ninth house of truth and adventure, to Jupiter in your first house of self. And that's going to be a direct trine. Jupiter's going to be direct and Mercury's going to be direct at that time. Okay. So we've got these little hits coming in where it's lack of clarity. Then, oh, I understand. Then lack of clarity. And then, oh, I understand coming in. Okay. So hopefully that helps with what the Mercury retrograde high points are. That's what I really think it's going to end up like. Like it's something clicks into place, then we have another thing to fight, another area of lack of clarity or fog to fight through. Then we understand, then again, then again. Okay, now you understand. Hopefully. That was a very Mercury retrograde explanation. The only other thing that I want to talk about, I think that's important, is the full moon in Cancer. That is going to be a really good full moon, actually. It's what I think. I mean, it depends on what your chart looks like, but it's in your third house of communication, which is really good. Why is this really good? Because all of these relationship transits that you've had, a full moon in the third house of communication is like ideal because you are going to be, and Cancer is emotional. There may be some highly emotional conversations going on, but that's okay. And then it's trine to Saturn and Pisces, your 11th house of friends, networks, long-term aspirations. So maybe whatever the new moon brought up, this full moon makes a connection. You're able to communicate with the people that you love or do want to clarify something with. And it's also sextile Jupiter in your first house of self, independence, instincts, and identity. So I'm really excited about that for you. I think it's going to be a good full moon. And then on the 29th, Venus moves into Sagittarius and brings some love to this eighth house place. Okay. So you had a lot of highly sometimes stressful, okay, with Mars and the sun and the new moon being there, square Neptune. But you get Venus and Sag, and then it brings some balance to this area where you are now maybe being empowered after feeling into a situation that was a lack of empowerment. That's going to be a really nice transit because Venus is in Jupiter's home sign and Jupiter is in Venus's sign. So these two places are mutually being benefited. Okay. It's called mutual reception. They're in each other's homes and they're both the good luck planets. So I really like that. Not to mention on the 30th, Jupiter goes direct in Taurus, which is your first house of self and identity and who you are. And I think that also is going to be really good for you, especially in the spring. All right, guys. Well, I hope this helps a little bit plan your month. So please come back for the January video. Hopefully my voice won't be so crazy. I will catch you guys on the flip side.